Hello, one of these 6 players is definitely going to sign for Kaizer Chiefs. And I'm not saying this because every paper has been talking about it. I'm saying this because you look at the need that Kaizer Chiefs has and you say, that does actually make sense. What am I talking about? The areas where Kaizer Chiefs need to strengthen the most of you will probably agree with me. If you disagree, you let me know in the comment section. Is the left back position, the attacking midfield position, and also the striker. Maybe I will explain what I'm talking about. Let's start with the left back position, starting from the cheapest option to the most expensive option, and also explaining why this is the most reasonable player that Chiefs might end up signing. Starting with Khosi Mande. Khosi Mande, only 22, playing for Stellenbosch as a backup to Fawaz Basadin. If you think about it, his market value is 4 million, and then someone will say, yeah, he can come to Kaizer Chiefs and he will give us a lot of years. Problem is, with Kaizer Chiefs, the pressure of playing for that team, you must hit the ground running. And if you don't do that, what tends to happen? Fans turn against you. So someone who still needs to learn his craft and adapt to the style and do this and do that, that might not be the greatest because he's not getting enough minutes to be a starter at Kaizer Chiefs. Maybe to be a backup, but not to be a starter. Which moves us to the starter of Stellenbosch, which is Fawaz Basadin. And yes, I know that there are links linking him to Mamelodi Sundowns, but if you think about it, that depends on whether they sell Modiba or not. If Modiba gets sold by Sundowns, then they are left with Terence Mashiro, but they still have another left back they just loaned to Amazulu. They still have Divine Lunga. You see, they still have options in that left back position, but Fawaz Basadin is the one who's on fire. So that transfer of Fawaz Basadin depends on a lot of factors. So Kaizer Chiefs might still have a chance with him, given the relationship that we have with Stellenbosch. The only problem, though, is the fact that his market value is at 18 million rands, and Kaizer Chiefs are not paying that much. Did just pay 10 million for Usbong Senimteto, but I don't think they'll do the same thing for a left back. So that is kind of, a bit tricky. Which leads us to another left back who's currently playing for Sundowns, but some people are not even aware that he plays for Mamelodi Sundowns, and that is with Divine Lunga. Right? They signed him from Arrows. They sent him to Arrows on a loan, and then he came back to Sundowns. And this season he hasn't played. Why has he not played this season? Because it was September. Fapos reported that he was waiting for his permanent residency in South Africa, and he was still waiting for that so that Sundowns could register him as a South African citizen, because they have a lot of foreigners. Even now they're just trying to send women theatre back to Stellenbosch so that they can register another foreign player. So there's been no development with Divine Lunga, which might be good or bad news for him and Sundowns. Might be good news for Chiefs, because if they couldn't register him as a South African player, then that means he's a foreign player. Then Kaizer Chiefs can still sign him, because Sundowns will have no choice but to release him because they don't have any more foreign spots. Which would mean Kaizer Chiefs can simply release one foreign player, which is likely going to be Gonzalez, and then they can get to Divine Lunga, because he's a quality player who just got signed by Sundowns, and then they never used him, sent him back on a loan, and then brought him back to sit on the bench. And yes, if you look at his market value, it's also around 14-15 million. But the thing is, given that he hasn't played, and given the fact that Sundowns might end up just releasing him, that might mean Kaizer Chiefs can then go and sign him for a very, very low price, because if he's a free agent, we don't have to sign him from anyone. We just have to get him and sign him for Kaizer Chiefs. But that's also a bit tricky, because if he does get his citizenship and Modiba does leave, then that means that position is between him and Terence Mashiro, and they also get to Basadin, which is problematic for us. I know, right? Speaking of Sundowns, because Sundowns are involved in everything that has to do with Kaizer Chiefs transfers, because a few days ago, Amazulu announced that they were signing a left back from Mamelodi Sundowns, and I said that this might be a hint that Kaizer Chiefs actually could be getting Fawaz Basadin. Hear me out. Not Fawaz Basadin, I'm talking about Urian Hanamub. Why is that? Because Amazulu also released a left back of their own, right? And then in doing that, Umabiliso there is. So now, Urian Hanamub has 6 months remaining in his contract, but Amazulu have a an option to extend the contract by 1 year. But next year, January, he will be free to sign a pre-contract with anyone. So to me, it seems like Amazulu, business-wise, it would make more sense for them to cash in on Riaan Hanamub while he still has 18 months remaining on his contract, rather than wait for June and risk not selling him in June and then losing him in January, unless they offer him a bumper fee. But knowing that Kaizer Chiefs is circling around, they know, they've seen it with Stebe, Kaizer Chiefs signing a player from them on a pre-contract. So I think that it's going to be a very difficult decision for them to just say, you know what, let's extend this contract by a year and hopefully we can extend it any further, you know. So I think that Riaan Hanamub is the most realistic signing that Kaizer Chiefs can make. And according to Abo Post, they're reporting Vele that that's the target that they are trying to go after. And you look at his numbers as well this season, in the top 5 people who are creating chances, and we're struggling to create chances from our fullback position in the left especially. So I do think that he's the one player who can actually end up coming to Kaizer Chiefs, which leads us to midfielders, attacking midfielder, because we have enough defensive midfielders as it stands. But before I do that, please do make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. By the way, out of the 4 players that I listed, I want to know from you, which one would you like to see playing for Kaizer Chiefs between Obolak Esmande, Fawaz Basadin, Divine Lunga, and Riaan Hanamub? Let me know down on the comment section. Now, attacking midfielder, there is really only one option here. And the main player that I'm thinking about, Mina, is Oswin Apollos, right? Because of the fact that he's playing for Polokwane City and he's shining and he's just playing beautiful football. And his market value also, it's obviously going to rise, but right now his market value is 7 million, right? And if you give him another season at Polokwane, what's going to end up happening is the fact that he's going to end up attracting interest from Sundowns, 1, but 2, his market value might just go higher than Chiefs can afford. So the best time to get him would be in June, because right now it would make sense for Kevin Johnson to stick with Umshini and Matlo and Utoli when he comes back from injury as attacking midfielders, and Sabelo Atev as well. But beyond that, if they're not delivering the goods, if they're not delivering assists for the strikers, then it would make sense to go outside and look for someone who can come and do that business. And as well, with also Napolis, you can play him as a 10, you can play him on the right, you can play him on the left. So it's also a good thing for Chiefs if they sign someone like that. Which brings us to a number 9. And I said maybe a number 9 because of the fact that the problem that I have with people just blaming Abo Gonzalez and Abo Ranga is the fact that Ranga was scoring goals at a weaker team, should I say, a team that actually got relegated. He was scoring goals, he was scoring a lot of goals, not just a few goals here and there. And then he comes to Chiefs, he's no longer scoring. I think that it's because he's not getting supply. It's not necessarily because he's just a bad player. And because of that, signing a striker is contingent upon whether or not we create enough chances, and then if Ranga starts scoring goals, then you can tell that, oh, okay, actually, he's a good striker. On the other hand, though, Ranga is 30, and in a few years, 2-3 seasons, he will not be as good as he was last year or even this year, because we know how it works. Not everyone is Ronaldo and is going to play until they are 39. So the striker that I think Chiefs should go after, and I think most of you were not expecting this, would be Ashley Cupido. Yeah, I said it. Ashley Cupido of Cape Town Spurs. Because you look at Cape Town Spurs right now. He's only played 13 games. He has 3 goals and he has 1 assist. Chiefs did want him last season, but then he wanted to play for Cape Town Spurs. But they are shaking, like they are not doing anything, right? They are headed for relegation. So I don't think a striker of his quality will want to stay with Cape Town Spurs. And I know a lot of people will say, oh, we want the guy from Stellenbosch, Ikram Reyners, right? I know a lot of people would say that, but to me, Ikram Reyners is just another Ashley Dupree, and we already have Ashley Dupree. And it's not saying he's bad, no. I'm saying we already have a player who plays like him at Kaizer Chiefs. So keep it Dupree. But if you look at Ashley Cupido, actually what he can do for Chiefs is the fact that he is a very pacey player, which kind of fits the strikers that we have. Not really, because the ones that we have are actually box strikers. But Cupido can do both. He can create spaces for other people, but he can also get the ball on his own feet, take players on. If you look at Cupido, he can do what Reyners can do, but he can do more. So for me personally, I think looking at Cupido, he would be fine with coming to Chiefs and playing second fiddle to Ranga, but he can also fight for his place and end up surpassing Ranga. Because you look at Kaizer, he's worth 36 million. Cupido right now, he's worth 5 million, right? So you sign him, and then you can still develop him while Uranga is there. And you can also develop him while he's learning from Abo Dupree and other players who are there at Kaizer Chiefs. So for me, I would definitely go for Ashley Cupido as a number 9. But that's just me. Which striker do you think Kaizer Chiefs needs? Which striker can come to Kaizer Chiefs and actually solve the problems? Well, just so happens there's a comment section. So go there and type the things. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. And until next time, remember, Khosi, I'll pay you more.